to be the best. I want to be the best there ever was. I want to make this team the best WNBA team there's ever been. But also, I want to win for my teammates. I want to win for this franchise.
Clark fires. Steps back with the three over Brianna Stewart. Caitlin Clark throws it from the edge. Most dynamic player in the game. Clark, a deep three. You bet. Clark. Wow. You bet. From beyond the logo.
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. We are back with some major news. And when I say major, I mean this is the kind of story that shifts the entire conversation around the league. It looks like the Caitlin Clark effect has officially paid dividends for the WNBA owners. We might finally be seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel. For this one, we've got to head all the way up to Indy and talk about what's really going on. Let's get into it. Now, y'all know how this works. People can argue all day long, social media can debate, fans can go back and forth, but numbers? Numbers don't lie. Put it in black and white and it tells the story every single time. And the story that's starting to come out right now is exactly what many of us said months ago. The Caitlin Clark effect was going to be real and it was going to show up in the financials. We're talking packed arenas. We're talking road games selling out when the Indiana Fever come to town. We're talking television ratings jumping to levels the league hasn't seen before. That's not by accident. That's not coincidence. That's star power. That's one name driving attention. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about shared credit. Angel Reese has been vocal, saying it's not just one player, that multiple stars contributed to the surge in popularity. And sure, the league has talent, no one is denying that. But when we're strictly talking about impact that moves the financial needle, one face clearly became the centerpiece of the conversation. And here's where it gets even interesting. The information about the league finally getting into the green, at least for a season, is being pushed out by the Women's National Basketball Players Association, that's the players' union. So you have to ask yourself, is this just transparency, or is this leverage in the middle of bigger negotiations? Because remember, even Commissioner Cathy Engelbert previously tried to downplay the idea that one player alone could transform the league's economics. The messaging was always about long-term growth, collective progress, sustainability. But now, suddenly, we're seeing reports that real money was generated, significant revenue, momentum that can't be ignored. And if money was made, the next logical step is players asking for a bigger slice of the pie. That's business. That's negotiation. That's how this works. But here's the core point. Would this spike have happened without Caitlin Clark? Would the attention, the sponsorship buzz, the record-breaking crowds have materialized at this level? That's the question people don't want to answer directly. Because whether folks like it or not, one name became the engine behind the surge. And now that the financial proof is starting to surface, the entire power dynamic of the league could be shifting. This isn't just hype anymore. This is numbers, and numbers change everything. It goes on to say, the WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to prompt revenue sharing for players for the first time in history. All 13 teams will receive a total of $8 million to disperse among players. The WNBA made enough money in 2025. Katie Barnes was the one who broke this story. This is major news. I'm telling y'all right now, I already know some people are sitting there asking, what does CC have to do with this? Everything. She has everything to do with it. When we're talking about momentum, ticket sales, national attention, sold-out arenas, that didn't just magically happen. That wave came with one name attached to it. And I don't want to hear the distractions. I don't want to hear the side arguments about this player or that superstar maybe playing a small role. We're talking about impact at the highest level. When you say Caitlin Clark, you're talking about real influence. Put some respect on her name. Here, said union leaders also said on Sunday that they will be divvying up $9.25 million to players from licensing revenue generated since 2020 from jersey sales, trading cards, video games, and other merchandise. The union expects to share that money by June 1st. So yeah, what does that mean? Damn. Here said they got all CC jersey sales and trading card profits. Caitlin Clark 2024 Rookie Royalty WNBA Flawless Logo Woman won an A1 sold for $660,000 Thursday night, becoming the most expensive card of a female athlete at a public auction. Caitlin Clark scored second biggest selling jerseys across WNBA and NBA sales. You know what that means, right? That's the money they've been talking about. Out of that $9 million, that's it. It's right there in black and white. The proof is sitting in front of everybody. That's the revenue. That's the impact. And let's stop dancing around it. Caitlin Clark played a major role in making that happen. Like it or not, her presence brought attention, eyeballs, and dollars. So yeah, she helped the situation in a big way. And because of that, the league needs to show her some love. Real appreciation. Real acknowledgement. Give credit where it's due. Now, this was reported on ESPN. Said, for the first time in history, the WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with its players, union leadership told Katie Barnes. Bro, you want to know why that money finally got triggered? It's because of Caitlin Clark. I'm telling you right now, this is major news. The attention, the ratings, the packed arenas, that doesn't happen by accident. That kind of financial shift comes when a true needle mover steps into the league. And because of that, I feel like she's owed an apology, a real one, from the critics, from the doubters, from the people who said she wasn't that impactful. Even legends like Cheryl Swoops and others who questioned the hype. It's time to give credit where it's due. Okay, let's listen to this.
They deserve their money. They deserve their cut.
For sure.
They've helped build this league into what it is. That's the one side. The other side is that the owners have been here too. And they're saying over a lengthy period of time, we've been losing money. We ain't trying to lose more. And that's where the lines are drawn in the sand. So what you have to ask yourself as ladies is, look at what you've built and look at all that's happening in the world of sports. Can you afford to jeopardize a season? Yeah. Because in the end, the owners who are not known, who are not in the public eye, who are not public faces for the league, they could sit back and say, hey, we got our money. We ain't trying to lose more. So it hurts the game and we can't make it, but we ain't trying to lose more anyway. You're ladies, you're trying to make this money and you're trying to build off the league. And my advice, and I've said this in the past, would be this. Continue to strive hard to get yours, be reasonable, understand where the lines are drawn in the sand and go from there. But a rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah. Whoever is the marketing, whether it's the Caitlin Clark, it's the Unesco's or anybody else, ride those waves unapologetically because ultimately it builds the popularity of the league and everyone will benefit in some capacity down the line. It can't always be about what you want in the immediate. You have to have a marathon's point of view as opposed to a sprinter.
Yeah. So that was Stephen A. Smith speaking on the current situation involving the ladies and the money finally starting to move. And this article, it goes into serious detail about how they calculated these numbers and how the league reached the benchmark. According to reports shared with ESPN, the WNBA generated enough revenue in 2025 to officially trigger revenue sharing with the players for the first time in league history. Union leaders said the league notified player leadership earlier this month that the financial benchmark had been hit. All 13 teams will receive a total of $8 million from the league to distribute among players. Now, let's pause right there. Because when you talk about hitting revenue targets, you've got to remember something. The benchmarks in the 2020 CBA were based on 2019 revenue numbers, then compounded by 20% in subsequent years, all while navigating the COVID-19 pandemic. That was before Caitlin Clark even stepped foot in the league. Under the 2020 CBA terms, players receive 50% of the revenue share as defined in the agreement, meaning the amount above the revenue threshold minus 30% for expenses. So for the first time ever, these players are about to see additional money from league growth. That's historic. And whether people want to admit it or not, the surge in visibility, ticket sales, ratings, and sponsorship buzz has coincided directly with Clark's arrival. Now, you can debate how much credit goes around, but the timing speaks loudly. Now, here's what Nneka Ogwumike, president of the Women's National Basketball Players Association, had to say. She explained that the union has grown stronger and has packaged players' name, image, and likeness collectively. She emphasized that the union exists to represent all players and that sharing in the league's growth is a positive step forward. At the same time, negotiations for a new CBA beginning in the 2026 season are ongoing. The latest proposal reportedly includes players seeking 27.5% of certain revenue categories. Ogwumike also made it clear, nobody wants a strike, no one wants a work stoppage, but being prepared is essential during negotiations. And even Adam Silver has previously acknowledged that major deals often get finalized at the 11th hour. But here's the bottom line. After nearly 19 years of financial struggles, the league has now reached a point where revenue sharing has been triggered. And it happened during the era when Caitlin Clark entered the spotlight. Coincidence? Maybe. Impact? Absolutely. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.